Saddened by the death yesterday afternoon as a result of a officer-involved shooting. No one, absolutely no one, wanted this outcome, and I anticipate a full as well as thorough investigation. The deceased individual had family, had friends, and my thoughts certainly are with them. My thoughts are also with the police officers from Columbus, Ohio. I'm sure they did not expect to be drawn into a tragic situation such as the one that they were involved in yesterday. The information we have leaves a clear impression that these Columbus officers, they saved the life of an unarmed man from death or perhaps serious injury. I spoke just yesterday with my counterpart in Columbus, Mayor Andrew Ginther, and we agreed to stay in communication about the situation that took place here yesterday. Other than the fact that out-of-town officers were involved in this incident, I know of no other connections to the convention. The location of the shooting was across the freeway, more than 3/4 of a mile from the front door of Pfizer Forum. The convention itself has proceeded with relatively few security or safety concerns. In my briefing from the city's Emergency Operations Center just this morning, it was shared that overnight was uneventful, really uneventful from a policing perspective. There were no arrests that happened overnight. During the day, yesterday, some pushing and shoving led to the arrest of one individual. At the designated demonstration areas, we saw the same trend as we've seen in the previous day. Many of those who scheduled appearances did not show up. We estimate just about 15% of those who registered for their time slot indeed did show up for their spot. In some additional news, yesterday afternoon, the Republican presidential nominee gave me a call. Mr. Trump had positive things to say about his experience so far here in Milwaukee. He shared his gratitude for the security and for law enforcement preparations. I did appreciate the call from Mr. Trump, and I again wished him a speedy recovery from his recent injuries. The convention is truly his convention, but there are a lot of people locally and businesses that are part of these activities. One of the places that is busy with activity is known as Convention Fest. It's a kind of street fair sort of thing we've got going on within the confines of the convention activity. The vendors at Convention Fest, they're largely local companies offering food and offering merchandise specific to our community. The customers and convention goers are the thousands and thousands of media people who are in town. And I, quite frankly, like the fact that the local companies are earning money, and also like the fact that that revenue is coming mostly from out-of-towners here in Milwaukee. I've certainly heard some concerns from businesses that are outside of the immediate convention area. Some have said their expectations have not been met. While it's absolutely true that millions and millions of dollars will be spent in connection with the convention, that money is not necessarily flowing through every single corner of the economy. I've heard some restaurants and businesses downtown were expecting a little bit more. The same is true of some businesses in neighborhoods near downtown. As I've had the opportunity, I've been encouraging convention attendees to explore, to shop, and to eat at the great establishments that we have right here in Milwaukee. Now today I've got an additional request as well. I encourage people who live in Milwaukee, who live in the region, regular patrons to businesses and restaurants here in the city, particularly here downtown, 3rd Ward, nearby neighborhoods, Walkers Point, Bronzeville, the like. I encourage folks in our region to come downtown to enjoy everything that downtown and the nearby neighborhood offers. They deserve our patronage. They're working very hard to make sure that this is a welcoming place for everybody, including the folks who call our community home. With that, I'll entertain a couple of questions. I'm sorry, can you say that from top, Allison? I'll be right with you. Yeah, That was in relation to front-facing officers, who would be engaging with folks, as we see, down here. That hasn't happened. These were bicycle officers who were out, and they were there. Briefing about the activities of the day, and while they were there briefing, not seeking to engage with anybody, from my understanding, they then saw the situation that was unfolding, where the now deceased individual had a knife, or knives rather, not just one but two knives, was threatening the life of another citizen, and then proceeded to lunge at that individual, disobeying the orders of officers to drop those knives. They commanded that those knives be dropped multiple times as the officers approached that individual, and that did not happen. That's when the police action took place. Hold on, let me get this question.
Mayor, what's the process of investigating out-of-town officers?
So my understanding right now is that the Milwaukee area investigative team will be the ones that investigate the incident that happened yesterday.
Will officers from outside agencies continue to go into neighborhoods?
I don't have a solid answer on that. I mean, typically, again, with the convention, as was just indicated in the previous question, if there are officers that are engaging directly with folks, front-facing officers, then they would be accompanied by Milwaukee police officers. I'm certain, and I haven't had the chance to speak with the chief on that particular question, but I would imagine, I'm certain, that after the event yesterday, the chief of police here locally in the city of Milwaukee, Jeffrey Norman, will be reviewing and be in touch with Secret Service and other law enforcement agencies.
Mayor,
Yes.
I understand via FPD release that a gun was recovered during an arrest made by U.S. Capitol Police. I believe it was on Monday for disorderly conduct or something. Are you aware of any other weapons-related charges within the soft or hard perimeter at the convention so far?
Weapons related?
Yes.
I'm not.
Can I ask about a different incident? MPD got a statement yesterday about a 21-year-old individual arrested on Monday
Mm-hmm.
with a ski mask, a firearm, and a backpack down. Would have been around the time of the march. Can you tell us more about that incident?
On Monday, I know there were a couple of arrests.
It just said the MPD statement said they arrested a 21-year-old man for carrying a concealed weapon on July 15th around 1 p.m. 1200 block of North 11th Street. He was wearing a ski mask, a tactical backpack, and now the Milwaukee PA is pending charges. I was just curious if that was related to the protest march, or if you can give any more.
I don't have the details to elaborate on that. I'd refer you to the Milwaukee Police Department. Little open.
Obviously, what happened yesterday was concerning. Can you give us your impressions about how that rolled out, how you learned about the information, what's your general reaction to that?
I learned about I was doing a lot during the convention here, and so there was a lot of information coming at me. I was doing a podcast interview with FOX6 local here, and that information was breaking at the same time. Information was coming to me from the police, from my chief of staff, and including from Mayor Andrew Ginther in Columbus as well, considering that his officers were involved.
Have you guys give a general impression about how this has played out so far, what happened? I mean, obviously you expressed that you were sad about the loss of life, but just give me your impression as a leader.
Look, anytime there's a loss of life, that's a tragic thing. Like, I don't want to see anybody be hurt. Whether it's somebody in our community, whether it's somebody here, I never want to see that. I also didn't want to see the individual who was being lunged at with two knives be hurt either. So I never want to see violence befall anybody, and I've said that constantly in my job as mayor. So that's it's sad to see loss of life. I'm sorry, can you speak up just a little bit? My understanding from police is that officers from that division from Columbus were pulled from duty, at least in the time yesterday. I don't know if they will be back on patrol today. I don't have that information, but I know yesterday as of yesterday, they had been pulled.
Sir, how long was your phone call yesterday with Donald Trump? And are there any other details you can share about the tenor of the conversation, any other sentiments?
Yeah, I spoke with Mr. Trump probably for about 2 or 3 minutes, and again, it was a very pleasant conversation.
Mayor, the majority of speakers at the RNC have trashed Democratic mayors. As they make a play for Wisconsin, what's your rebuttal to those speakers?
They'll lose in November.
On yesterday's shooting, I guess I did have another follow-up. There were people in the community, also Alderman Bauman, who said you have people who are coming into the city who don't know the area very well. You know, they're police officers, other police departments. This might not have happened if these were MPD officers who are familiar with, the King Park area. What is your response to that?
My understanding, again, I mean, this is a tragic situation. I don't want people to lose their lives. My understanding from the conversations that I've had with police officers is that the likelihood is that any officer who saw a citizen about to be attacked by somebody wielding not one knife but 2 knives, refused officers' commands to drop the knives, and then proceeded to lunge at an individual in a manner that was threatening, would have taken the same action.
Thank you. One more question?
I just have one more here. I know there was already protests over the passing of RNC Mitchell. Do you anticipate sort of escalation in those protests given the events we saw yesterday as well?
I don't know what to anticipate in terms of that. I know that the district attorney has laid out, I believe, a timeline in terms of charging in that situation. So I can't elaborate further on that. Again, I don't want to see the loss of life for anybody in our community. I did, in the past week, have the opportunity to reach out to Mr. Mitchell's family to offer my condolences there. To go to the visitation portion of his services and greet the family and offer my condolences again there before Reverend Sharpton came and gave the eulogy for Mr. Mitchell here in Milwaukee at Holy Redeemer Church of God in Christ.
Thank you, everybody.
All right, thank you.